It's the B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The Moose.
You might not be an A, but you are a B plus.
Check it out! Here we go!
Alright, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to another B Plus podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Saturday, you know what that means. It's time for the NXT edition of The View from the WWE Universe. I'm flying solo today, as Big Boy Mikey is having more trouble with his internet. I don't know if he's still with Optus or if he's switched to Telstra. I don't know. I have trouble with my internet and I'm with Telstra. Internet in Australia is awful. Dear international listeners, you are very lucky to live wherever you live, because Australian internet is awful. It's really bad. And as a podcaster, it's quite difficult to deal with. But, you know, it is what it is. NXT Edition, it's time for us to talk everything that happened in NXT this week. We had a massive view from the WWE Universe this week where we touched on a lot of the backstage issues in the WWE Universe. And, of course, tomorrow on Sunday, all the rest with Mr. Mysterious. I will be guest appearing on that show as well. We're going to talk the state of WWE. We're going to talk AEW, MLW, all that sort of stuff. So tune in for that as well if you want some of the backstage stuff. I'm kind of just going to do a quick rundown of the things that happened on screen in NXT this week, starting in the NXT UK. The show started off with the information that in 4 weeks, there will be a number one contender 4-way match, and tonight we're going to start the qualifying matches to get into that match. Those come later in the show, but we kick off the show with Moustache Mountain versus The Hunt, Wild Boar and Primate. I love this team, this pairing of Wild Boar and Primate. We talk about the NXT UK sort of still getting onto its feet, still building characters, still getting us invested into these people, and a lot of the people just sort of come out and wrestle, and there's no investment in them unless you've watched them in Progress and other places like that to begin with. Wild Boar and Primate go against that. Wild Boar and Primate, they're getting me interested. Obviously, Moustache Mountain already have us interested. We're starting to get to that point now where some of these characters are starting to build an audience with those of us watching at home as well as those that are in the crowd there. So this is really cool. I really like this team of The Hunt. Beasts of a kind form a common bind. I think it was Nigel McGuinness that said that. Beasts of a kind form a common bind as opposed to birds of a feather flock together. I thought that was really cool. Moustache Mountain pick up the win here, but it was a really good opening tag match. Then we get Flash Morgan Webster taking on Joe Coffey. We get Let's Go Coffee chants from the crowd, which threw me off at first, but then they explained that they're in Glasgow. So he's a hometown boy for this crowd, which explains the face reactions that Gallus get, which was very confusing. But no matter, Flash Morgan Webster, Joe Coffey have a very typical speed versus power type matchup. Joe Coffey wins. He moves on to compete in the Fatal 4-Way number one contender match that's going to take place in 4 weeks. Then we get a promo in the ring from Gallus about this being their kingdom. And, we've heard all this before, but Coffey says that, he tries to get the crowd to turn on him, saying, you put all your hopes and dreams in me and in us, but this is our city and we run NXT UK. And the crowd just pop for it because they're the hometown boys. They very nationalistic over there in Europe from the seams of things. We then get an Ilya Dragunov hype video. Ilya Dragunov, for those who don't know, big star in Europe, in WXW specifically, and he is coming to NXT UK. He has signed, and they're starting the hype videos, so I imagine he's going to show up in the next couple of weeks. Nina Samuels takes on Casey Owens. Quick squash match here. Nina Samuels wins with the Nina Goroshi, her version of the Ushi Goroshi. She gets interviewed and says that she admires Toni Storm for caring so much about her dreams that she was willing to abandon her struggling mother and sister. Wow. What a way to make it personal. I've zero interest almost in Nina Samuels. She's good mechanically, of course, but in the character, it's like I said, with NXT UK, unless you've been watching Progress, unless you've been watching the other places these people work, it's hard to care about some of these characters, but Nina Samuels in this one promo, she got me. I was like, okay. Now I want to see Toni Storm kick her ass. This is personal. This is great. This is what I want from my wrestling. I really enjoyed it. Then we get a promo for the Triple H documentary that's coming out. That's going to air next week, I believe, after NXT TakeOver. So Triple H Creation and Destruction, his new documentary that they're doing on Triple H. That looks really cool. I'm a big Triple H guy, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Then we got the main event. Grizzled Young Vets come out and say that unfortunately Amir Jordan is injured, so there will be no title match. I can't do the accents. I'm not even going to try. Why do I always try? He tells everyone to just go home, put their shoes back on. I still don't get the shoe thing. Can someone please tweet me at Greg Unchained or email me the B+ at unchained.media? What the fuck is going on with the shoe thing? Why do they take their shoe off and chant something about their shoes that I can never understand because they're English? And English crowds freak me out, man. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on with the shoes, but he tells them to put their shoes on, which, as a general rule, good idea. Keep your shoes on when you're at a wrestling event. They smell enough already. Without feet in the center, without adding the scent of feet into the mix that is the wrestling stench already. UK, what are you doing? Keep your shoes on. He tells them to put their shoes on and go home. There will be no fairy tale tonight. Kenny Williams will not receive his title challenge. And of course, this cues Kenny Williams' music. He comes out and, he kind of makes a veiled accusation that, they had something to do with Amir being injured. And then he says, but it's okay. There's going to be a title match because he has other mates. And then out comes the Scottish sensation, Noam Dar. So we get Grizzled Young Vets versus Noam Dar and Kenny Williams. They really solid tag team main event. Grizzled Young Vets don't have bad matches. Noam Dar doesn't have bad matches. This was really good. They did a really good double submission spot that I'm forgetting now, but I look at my notes and that's what it says. They did a really good double submission spot. The Grizzled Young Vets retain after taking out Noam Dar on the outside and then isolating Kenny Williams, who of course is the weak link there. He's not the Scottish Supernova. He's just Kenny Williams. So he takes the pinfall after the 450 splash, and the Grizzled Young Vets pick up the win. Next week on NXT UK, we get El Ligero versus Jordan Devlin in qualifying action for the 4-way, and Mastiff versus Wolfgang in qualifying action as well. And that does it for NXT UK this week. Let's move on to NXT proper in Florida. Starting off the show, Mia Yim and Bianca Belair. Really good opening match between these two. Bianca Belair is an absolute star. Mia Yim, I don't know much about Mia Yim outside of WWE, but her experience level, I assume, it's shining through. Like she comes across as very polished and very experienced, and I'm really enjoying watching her work in NXT. So this was a really good match. Belair ends up winning after the ref stops her from touching the ropes, and she whips her hair over the ropes and holds it like I'm like acting it out for you. You can't see me. This is an audio format. Bad, Greg. But yeah, she holds the ropes with her hair for leverage and gets the 3 count, which upsets Mia Yim, which makes me super happy. It was a brilliant move. It was amazing to watch. Definitely go watch this match just to see that. That was so innovative to see Bianca Belair using her hair to get leverage on the ropes. The way she incorporates her hairstyle into her matches, just incredible. I love Bianca Belair so much. She is undefeated. It is a mindset. She is amazing. This was a great opening to the show. We then see backstage video where the 4 horsewomen are training at the Performance Center and they get attacked by Io Shirai. So we're still continuing the Io Shirai versus the 4 horsewomen gimmick there. Raul Mendoza comes out for a match with Riddick Moss. This episode of NXT is kind of rapid clip, just match after match after match, not a whole lot of story development happening. Raul Mendoza takes on Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss has a new gimmick. He's doing the Riddick regimen, doing things his way. He's got like taking a drink of water in the middle of the match. He's got to hydrate because he's getting ripped and he's got to hydrate. It's very interesting. He's working out with the stretchy bands before. You can tell I don't gym because I do, but I don't know what it's called. Resistance bands, that's it. He's working out with the resistance bands, getting a pump on right before the match. Kind of similar to Mikey Broderick here, how he does his squats and lunges and stuff at the beginning of the match. It's a very interesting gimmick. Him using the hydration break, like trying to get a hydration break in the middle of the match and splash water into Mendoza's face, was really cool. Raul Mendoza, of course, hasn't had very many wins in NXT, and they were playing this up on commentary, but then he ends up winning with a springboard twist move. I felt like the way they acted on commentary about Raul Mendoza's bad luck with matches, I feel like it kind of projected the finish here. Like, well, obviously Raul Mendoza's going to go over, and he did. And they sold it as if Riddick Moss was some kind of champion for him to overcome, and he was a real underdog here. But going into the match, I thought, oh, Raul Mendoza's been on TV for a while, Riddick Moss hasn't. This is him coming back. They must be putting Raul Mendoza over here, and I was right. And so it kind of, I don't know, it was a weird way to sell it on commentary. I wasn't a big fan. And so he gets the win with that springboard twist move, and they pop like it's the biggest thing ever. And then we move on to Adam Cole and Matt Riddle in the main event. Incredible match. This is the kind of match that creates NXT fans. It's the kind of match like the Buddy Murphy Velveteen Dream match from a few weeks ago. Just great back and forth, athletic wrestling. That this is where NXT shines in matches like this. Definitely go out of your way to watch this episode for the hair thing at the beginning, and for this match, it's amazing. Roderick Strong ends up interfering to try to get Cole back into the ring, which furthers that story that they're telling at the moment of the tension between Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong's involvement sort of, costing Adam Cole in the long run. Adam Cole takes advantage briefly of the help, but Matt Riddle reverses a pinfall into the Bro Mission, gets the tap out victory. Brilliant ending to the match. He powders out, and then Undisputed Era run in, and Roderick Strong and Adam Cole get into each other's faces. Red Dragon have to get between them and separate them. So we're getting more of that story there. I'm looking forward to see how it pays off. I really hope that they kick Adam Cole out and Adam Cole goes babyface, and then we can get a proper heel Undisputed Era black shirt cool group situation happening, because I think that's where the money is. Roderick Strong sort of coming in as the last minute guy who joined and was reluctant to join Undisputed Era, but he joins and then usurps Adam Cole as leader. I think that's a really interesting story. I'm looking forward to see how they play it out. That's how I would do it, though. And that does it for NXT this week. It's a short one this week, guys, because, it's hard to banter with myself. It's always better when I have Big Boy or Danders or someone here with me, but unfortunately flying solo today. You can find me at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at TheGregUnchained on Instagram. We collectively have a B+ Wrestle on Twitter, because wrestling wouldn't fit. B+ Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.